Okay, so here we're looking at Chris's GrowBall program. GrowBall. Growing balls. So here we have, what is this? So I just want to do a little pseudocode analysis, right? Which is that thing I do where I kind of read through the code and just like see what's going on. So I get the integer points, right? Like that's how many points I have. Okay. And then there's a GrowBall array called ball, which is apparently 20 GrowBalls. Okay, cool. So I don't know what a GrowBall is. Whatever. Let's see. So I've got to set up a window. Nice. I like that. What's this for loop doing? You guys see that? Somebody tell me what that for loop's up to.
When I'm assuming integer I is how many GrowBalls on the screen or on the food. If zero and below 20, add 20.
Close. So this is starting at 0, right? Right. This is a for loop, so it takes a starting at, going until, by whatever. So this is starting at 0, up to 20, well, up to 19, really. And going, what's this increment? Yeah, good, that's by 1. So we're going from 0 to 20, well, from 0 to 19 by 1, right? And for each thing, we're making a ball index, right? So that's putting into the array ball at spot whatever a new GrowBall. So this thing's making an array of GrowBalls, and it's going through and filling that array actually with constructed GrowBalls. You guys remember that? Like this first thing just says, dude, I'm going to make a GrowBall array called ball. And then this is, I'm going to actually go into that array and put a GrowBall in each slot. You guys see that? The array is like an empty bracket, right? Like a shelf with boxes on it. So first I'm going to design this shelf so that it fits GrowBalls. And then I'm going to go through and into each basket on the shelf, I'm going to put a GrowBall. And then apparently in there I'm setting the text size 36. Cool. I have no idea what that does. That sets the text size 36 like 20 times. Okay, whatever. I'm assuming that was meant to be outside. Okay, so probably this was supposed to be out here. If it doesn't work, we'll remember that and put it back. Okay, so if I had to comment this, I would put in here something like populate GrowBall array. You guys with me on that? So there's a distinction there, right? This one this first thing just makes the idea of a GrowBall array. And then this one actually sets some GrowBalls into that array. Okay, and then this last thing is just creating the GrowBall class. Nice comment. Good. So a GrowBall has apparently important things. It has a color, a position in X and Y, a radius, an integer that's grow stop, and a float that's grow speed. Okay? That seems like things that are important for a GrowBall, right? Like it's got a color and a place and a size and a speed, and then I don't really know what this grow stop thing is, but maybe we'll see. Okay, and then we have initializing variables for the GrowBall in the, what's this part of a class called? That is the constructor. Nice. So we're going to have the GrowBall constructor, and what we're going to do is we're going to make, oh, cool. We're going to make the color random. You guys see that? Like, all of this is kind of wild, but what's this thing do? Just a random 50 to 255. What category of random number? What? No. It's a float. So it's a float from starting at 50, including 50, going up to 255, not including 255, right? Making an integer. So that might be like 70.1625, right? And then what's the int thing here doing? Yeah, that's doing chop pitch, right? So am I ever going to get 255 out of this thing?
No.
No, I'll only ever get a random number between 50 and 254 that's now an integer. And then we're taking, how many times are we doing that? 3 times. So for each GrowBall, right, every time we make a new GrowBall, we're going to get 3 random numbers between 50 and 254 integers. And then we're going to feed those 3 random numbers into a color command. The color command is a thing that turns that into a color, right? Really, that's calling a color method. So here we have a variable C, right, that's recording that information. And C was supposed to be, oh, indeed, a color. You guys cool with that? Okay, so we made a color of a GrowBall that's basically random, right? And the 50, I'm assuming, was to keep them from being blackish. Right? You want to keep your game pastel and bright colors. And then we're doing X position is, what's that thing do? Yeah, like somewhere between 0 and the width, right? So you're setting your initial position someplace between 0 and the width. And your Y position? Somewhere between 0 and the height. Great. Your grow speed is, ooh, that one's cool. What's grow speed? Seems like probably 0, right? Except that random is what kind of a thing again?
It's a float. Yeah,
random's a float. So this is a decimal from 0 up to 1, not including 1. Okay, see that? So a number like this might be 0.1628 or 0.3754. Right? And then we have a radius that we start at 10. They all start at the same size. Okay. And then we have grow stop that we set equal to 0. I think, okay, never mind. I'll talk about it as we get to it. All right, and then that was our constructor for a GrowBall, right? So if I had to comment this more fully, I'd do random color, pretty bright. Random position in X, and I need to comment that out. And then I'd make a and Y maybe. And just for clarity, I'd probably put in a couple line breaks here to separate things a little bit. And then grow speed is like a random growth rate, 0 to 1 float, just to remind myself like what's going on there. And those comments, as you get better at coding, will get a little vaguer, and that's okay. And then these guys are pretty self-explanatory, so I'll probably leave those alone. This one I might comment like I just don't know what that does. So because I'm editing someone else's code, I'm just going to insert that like, I should remember what the heck that does. What are these guys? So after we had in a class, right, there's variables for the class, and then there's a constructor, and then there's, what's the next bunch of stuff? Yeah, the stuff it can do, right? So, right, a class is really a cookie cutter to make an object. And an object has some important attributes that are set during the constructor, and then it has some stuff it can do. So this is the stuff that a GrowBall can do. So a GrowBall can be displayed, apparently. Seems legit. Probably going to want to display this stuff. And you set ellipse mode to center. Sure. Where else could this have gone? Yeah, that could have gone in the setup. And then we have set the fill to C. That seems like it's going to what? Yeah, that's going to turn the GrowBalls the color that they're supposed to be made, right? And then the ellipse, what's all that business? Okay, good. So this is the fact that it's a circle is that these two are the same, and we're in center mode, right? These are the coordinates of the... Yeah, this is the one I was saying. These are a little misleading because this is actually a diameter. So probably I would go back up here to this one and say... No worries, it's fine. It just got confusing when I was trying to figure out what the divided by 2 did later. I was like, why are we dividing the radius by 2? That doesn't have a meaningful quantity. That's not a meaningful quantity. Okay, so then we got our... So basically we're making a ball, right? That's at these two positions and has a radius, or a diameter of radius. And then apparently GrowBalls can also grow. Oh, nice. I like this. Grows the balls over time at a random speed as long as they haven't been clicked. You guys see that? So he's got this if grow stop equals 0. What is that testing? Yeah, that's just checking the value of the grow stop variable. If it's exactly 0, it'll do this stuff in these brackets. And if it's not exactly 0, what's it going to do? Not do this stuff in the brackets. You guys with me on that? All right, what's the stuff in the brackets? What's the stuff it does when the grow stop is 0? Yeah, the diameter turns into the diameter plus the grow speed. Cool. All right. And then we have nicely commented clickies. I like this. So this thing apparently makes the balls disappear if clicked and sets the grow stop variable to 1 so they won't reset. Also calculates points. Be careful, if the circles are too large, they're worth negative points. Cool. Alright, so we got points. That's probably the easy thing to evaluate here. What's the points doing? How is this scored? Yeah, so if the radius gets bigger than 200. And what's the int doing there? Yeah, radius was a float before, so you probably don't want to add it to an integer. The program will probably complain about not being able to combine different variable types. So it depends a little bit on what language you're in, whether it'll just do it and make the old thing a float now, or whether it'll truncate or what. But it's a good idea to ensure that when you're combining variable types, that they're the same variable type. Which is why I'm always asking, what is this thing? So, alright. So we're taking the radius, we're turning it into an integer, and then we're subtracting from 200, and then we're bringing the points up by that amount. So if it gets past 200 and diameter. God damn this thing. If it gets past 200 in whatever the radius value is, right, you'll lose points for clicking it. And then apparently it sets the radius equal to 0 and the grow stop variable equal to 1. Okay, that seems like a good poor man's way to, like, get it to disappear and get it to stop growing. Honestly, I just called that a poor man's way, and that's really unfair, because this is actually a really good way to do this. Setting the radius equal to 0 is a really nice touch.
I tried no.
Yeah, no. So the radius, right, is still a float. So whatever you set it equal to is going to have to be a float. You could try to set it equal to null, but depending on the language, it'll shout at you. My guess is the vast majority of languages will shout at you for trying to erase what's in a float. Okay, and then let's check this if thing, because this is going to be a little wild. Okay, so what's just this first one? Yeah, this should be, if you click on the ball, then this stuff should get activated, right? So this should be the X position of the mouse should be on the, should be left of the right end of the ball. You guys see that? So that's the right side of the ball is the middle of the ball, and then what should be a radius, right, to the right, or a half the diameter. Does this work in here? Okay. All right, I fixed it. Where was I? This one. Okay, so if we're left of the right end and right of the left end, and below the top and above the bottom, right? That seems legit. Anybody spot the logic error in there? Not bad. Yeah, it says those are making a square, right? So if we run this, I bet we'll be able to click just barely off the corner of the balls and get them to disappear. There's a way we could do that with a little more math. But for right now, that's great. Like, this is really, really super close to working perfectly. And then we have draw all the things. Okay. So in the draw, apparently that's all the GrowBalls do. They display, they grow, and they clicky. Okay. And then we're going to go into our draw command, or our draw method, and we're going to draw all this stuff. So we're going to set the background to white every time the draw command runs, right? So that's erase the previous frame. Okay, and then what's this thing doing? What's this for loop here do? Where's the end of that for loop? Ooh, gnarly. That's a long for loop. Okay, cool. So in our for loop, we're going to loop through all the balls. Right? So you're going to loop through all the balls. That's what this starting at 0 up to 19 by 1s is doing. And then here we're going to call, what are we calling there? That's like show me your... Never mind. That's ball show yourself. Right? So we're going through and we're saying, hey ball, pop up. Right? Like, come here. And then this thing is running the... That's making each ball grow, right? So we're looping through it, and we're going to put each ball on the screen, and then we're going to go through and make them all grow. If I had to complain about anything here, it would be that this will probably allow... 60 hertz is 60 hertz. You won't be able to see it. Forget it. Okay. And then we have convert points to a string and display them. Oh, cool. Nice. Why did you have to convert it to a string? I think a text box will take a number. But that's a good... You guys see this command here? So he made a new string, right? Spoints. Yeah, which is actually a good naming convention. Maybe a better naming convention would be S points with a capital P or string points. Right? You don't get to really pick a you probably don't want to pick a capital P here because your points variable has a lowercase p. Right? So maybe string points would be another good naming convention. And then all we did was feed that to the string converter. Right? So the string converter just takes variables of other types and turns them into strings. It's worth noting that not all languages have convenient string converters or convenient float converters or convenient integer converters. Like those are something that processing does really well. Those are really great. Super handy to have. And then we set the fill to black, and then we put a text box up in... Where's that going to be? Yeah, like give or take, top left. And then we have some... Oh, nice. We have some heckling for if you get below 500 points, if you get below 1,500. Cool.
Nick, I like those because if you get exactly those numbers, you're not going to get anything.
Well, you'll get this one still.
Oh, yeah.
Right, but if you get minus 499 points, yeah, you're right. Or minus 500 points, yeah, you won't get it.
So, hold on, will you get both comments if you're really low?
Yep.
Will those... Oh, yeah, I see, you've offset them. So
Yep, so they're offset a little bit. Although it looks like you can't get both these ones and these ones, because they're overlapping each other, right?
Yeah, but you can't logically...
So the only way this would happen is if you went below 500 and then earned a bunch of points, right?
That statement is no longer applied to
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, because it's running through the draw loop every time, right? It won't still hang there. Cool. All right, and then we have runs clicky when you press the mouse. That seems legit. Oh, so what's it doing there? You guys see that? This comment's really...
Wasn't that almost that exact sort of the for loop one you heard top?
Yeah, we ran this same for loop several times, right? There's a for loop that looks like this. Right here. To display and grow all the balls. And then there's another for loop up here to populate the ball array. Right? So what that thing does is that thing loops through all the balls and runs the clicky on each of them. You guys see that? So that's like, hey, first ball. Like, yo, ball 0, did you get hit? Yo, ball 1, did you get hit? Yo, ball 2, did you get hit? Yo, ball 3, did you get hit? Like, all the way through. You guys with that? Because you want to ask each ball if you hit it. So let's try this. This will be fun. Oh, also, those things are all in this for loop. I think probably we could do this. See if it works. So what did I do? Anybody catch that? I took a bracket from right here that was the end of the for loop, and I brought it back up here to just underneath the two things for displaying. Because I figured I probably don't need to run through calculating the points 20 times.
For 60th of a second.
Yeah, 20 times every 60th of a second. Let's try it. Ah! Oh my god. It's really tough, and I just got a bunch of negative points. Why didn't that one was growing really slow? Did it stop?
Yeah, when you run out of balls,
Okay, there's not a, like...
you didn't score enough to really get in the
And I didn't score well enough to get anything.
Or badly enough to get any comments.
Definitely doesn't help your score when you close the window.
Yeah, oh yes.
That was super weak sauce. I'm sorry! Okay, one more time.
Negative comments really isn't. Do you have to click it or can you just hold it?
You can't just hold it, which is kind of unfortunate. Yes!
Right.
You got one. One.
Okay, let's see if we can get the negative comments out. That should be super easy.
Wait a while. Oh yes.
Bam, 3 at a time.
Oh.
Just do a really crap job. I'm gonna wait till I can get a forfer. Oh, and then, see that corner thing, guys? Yeah, remember we said there was this thing about the corners? Right, like, I'm not over that thing.
Yeah.
That is awesome, Chris. That's perfect. I love that thing. Really good. Any questions about how that thing works? Okay.